Welcome.
Yeah!
Welcome to episode 3.
Hello, T.
How are you?
All good. Oh, we've missed the intros. You are?
I'm Michelle Laurie, one of your hosts.
And I am Jo Hancock. Hello, team. Thank you so much for joining us. Team, this episode we're talking
HIIT
high intensity interval training.
And we're going to talk about the benefits of HIIT, what it is, where you can do HIIT training,
Different types of
HIIT training,
that we teach it.
Yeah, recovery after HIIT training, how to incorporate it into your routine.
Yes.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
give you a whole little thing on HIIT.
Yeah, we'll do it. So let's go right the way back. This is actually how I met Michelle in my fitness world.
Yeah, it was years ago. Yeah, so
Class called
Insanity.
Figures.
Insanity. Yeah, was the very first HIIT class that I attended. And actually, when I say attended, I actually did it on DVDs.
Yeah.
And then did the training, and used to train instructors to be Insanity instructors. Love a bit of HIIT.
Yeah. So the Insanity version of the high intensity interval training, we would do 4 moves,
30 seconds each, back to back, and then you'd get a 30-second recovery, and then you'd repeat that 3 times. And after you'd done it 3 times, you would then get a 1 minute of something horrendous
that we would then provide with a smile on our face.
Exactly.
So that was I suppose.
That was my introduction to it as well.
Yeah. And I just loved it. I absolutely loved it / hated it / loved it.
I have to say, I did used to get quite a few people in that class going for a little bit of a vomit.
Yes. Yeah.
They'd come back in.
So I used to teach it twice a week. So we used to do it on a Tuesday and we used to do it on a Saturday morning. And first thing on a Saturday morning, if you've had a heavy Friday night.
Not the one, is it?
Whoa.
Not the one.
No. So high intensity interval training does what it says on the tin. So we are, as instructors, trying to push you to your max in a short period of time.
Yeah.
But then let you recover a little bit to then take you back up there again.
So basically you're spiking and then dropping in your heart rate, basically. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's really good fun. And I think the nice thing with HIIT training is it's often quite a short period of time overall. So you're not jumping around like...
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, hands down, that is one of the benefits
Massive
of HIIT
benefit.
training.
Yeah.
Is that it can be done in a very short time period.
Yeah.
So you can mix it into your fitness routine.
You can, yeah. I think it's important, to mix it with other things.
Absolutely.
A lot of the time, HIIT training is body weight training, using body weight. And if that's the kind of HIIT training that you've been doing, I'd say combine that with some strength training. And look at how you can really add that into your overall training regime, because it's going to help you. The great thing with HIIT is it's going to help you with so many different other forms of sports, activities / everyday life. It's usually very functional movements that you're doing.
Yeah.
And I've done some sort of specific HIIT training with basketball teams, for example. So the kind of things that I was mirroring with the natural movement patterns that you would have in a basketball court. So lots of lateral movement, lots of quick jumping movements. And I'm basically tailored the HIIT workout so that it would be very applicable to the basketball team.
Absolutely. There we go. Another benefit. So benefits are it can be done in a very short time period.
Very short period
of time. We can make it very sport specific or very individual specific.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It can really be tailored, can't it?
Absolutely. You touched on it as well. The fact that it is intense and we're peaking you, we are increasing your health strength, your heart strength.
Yeah, your heart strength, yeah.
So you're increasing your heart strength, and you've also got that after effect.
Yes.
Of the class.
So Jo, talk us through the after effect, because people might not be aware of what we're talking about. When you say an after effect from a HIIT class, what would you mean by that?
So the after effect is how your body is, I suppose, getting itself back into its recovery form.
Yeah.
So the burn of calories.
Yeah.
Your metabolic rate is still increased. So we've intensified your body.
Yeah.
And even if we've done a 20-minute session, we've cooled you down, we've stretched you off, your body is still going, whoa,
yeah.
I'm repairing, I'm working from that workout.
For a long period of time afterwards.
For a longer period of time afterwards. So it's got that continuation.
Yeah. And I think with HIIT training, you tend to see results quite quickly. And the nice thing with it is that because it is functional training, the movement pattern that you're getting involved in is not something that is going to feel totally alien to you. It's very simple moves usually, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that actually in detail.
Yeah.
So let's take your basketball team, for example.
Yeah.
So in terms of the exercises, would you have them working for 30 seconds, 20 seconds of the same move?
So I had them doing 30 seconds of the same move. And that might be maybe a lateral movement, so moving side to side, because obviously I was thinking basketball players are moving laterally a lot, as well as obviously doing lots of propulsive work. And then I'd maybe back that onto doing something that was a plyometric move, again, just to make sure that they were getting that upward motion that they might do to try and score a basket. It sounds so technical, doesn't it?
You.
So I'm a basketball mum, can't you? And again, I've also done it with football teams who are a little bit more resistant, I have to say. However, I know, but I think probably it's my son's football team. Probably that's probably why they were slightly more resistant. But again, you can make that very, very tailored towards what their movement pattern would be and how they move so very differently on for example, a basketball court to a football pitch. It's very, very different movement patterns.
Absolutely. And that's a really important part about your training, and that we can do that in HIIT, is we are actually, because of the repetition of movement, we are training our central nervous system and we are prepping our bodies for what's coming up, because you've done that repetitive motion. So your muscles remember it, your central nervous system, your nerves are going, okay, I know this.
Yeah. And I did lots of pre-season training with that, and it really helped them, really helped them.
Yeah. And that as well will increase your heart strength.
Yeah.
Because we're making you go intense in a short period of time, we're pushing you pretty much to that extreme of what you feel you can do. Like we're getting you to your 10 out of 10 for a short burst.
So that's almost like you can't really speak. It's difficult to speak. You want to get to that point at a HIIT class, don't you, where you think, I literally can give you no more. This is everything I've got. I'm giving to you now. And that's where we want you to be in a HIIT class.
And that's a really important part of it as well, is the high intensity intervals.
Yeah.
So you're there for a short time.
Yeah.
But you've got to come back down again in order to then be able to go back there.
Yeah.
Because if we tried to keep you in that zone continuously, we'd probably go 4 minutes and then everyone's going to be throwing up, falling over, getting injured.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's short, sharp bursts.
And spiking up that heart rate. And when you've done HIIT training, have you done things with equipment? But I know we're going to talk about Fortis in a minute, but have you done any equipment-based stuff with HIIT?
Yeah.
And how have you found that?
We can transition our HIIT training to go onto the gym floor.
Yeah.
And do a cheeky little circuit if you wanted to. But in the gyms now, we've got air bikes, we've got ski ergs, and I would apply the same type of training. So you are 20 seconds on.
Yeah.
And then you are 10, 15 seconds recover, and then you go again. A really effective form of training to do on a specific piece of kit is something called Tabata. So it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 rounds. So it's big old scientific study.
Big science, isn't it, behind it?
Yeah, it's called Tabata or Tabata. And you're 20 seconds on, 10 seconds recover, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds recover. Repeat that 8 times. Move on to your next bit of kit.
Yeah.
Ski erg to an air bike. You'll be like, ooh. But you can do it on any form of cardiovascular piece of kit. So you can do it on your watt bikes. You could do it on a Peloton bike. You can do it on the treadmill, like 20 seconds sprint, and then a full-on recover.
And so with HIIT training, I should say, you can either do it within a studio, a gym. You can even do it at home. We've got stuff on demand. You can do it at home.
Absolutely.
There's all sorts of different ways that you can get HIIT into your weekly workout regime, isn't there?
Yeah. And you spoke about it earlier. When we're doing it in a class format, we tend to be using our body weight.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really transitional class that you can take on your business conference with you, because you could possibly do it in your hotel room, even if you haven't got a gym there.
Yeah.
Or you could take it on holiday with you. Not that I'm saying exercise the whole time on your whole holiday, because you know what? You want a little bit of enjoyment time. But you could do 20 minutes 3 times that week. There's your HIIT training.
Exactly. And like I said, there's no equipment needed, is there?
Exactly.
Which makes it really accessible for everyone.
Yeah. And if you're doing it in an instructor-led class, because we had HIIT classes on the gym floor, they got so popular that we've now moved them into the studio so that more people can take part in it. If you follow the format that the qualified instructor's giving you, there you go. You've got your program. And if you're doing the body weight, then you can go again.
Yeah.
And also, I'm going to come back to it again. We are making your cardiovascular side of our fitness training stronger, longer. So by that becoming stronger and longer, by default, you are then going to be able to start staying longer in the gym, which means you might be able to start progressing your program or lifting a little bit more. We're continuously just trying to get you
on that upward tread, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So talking about the kind of classes that we've got available within Everyone Active sites, we've spoken about HIIT classes, and there might be called a boot camp classes, all sorts of different genres of classes you might see. Something that are in some of our sites is, and we've spoken about this before, one of our favourites is something called Fortis.
Yes.
And we've got that in, is it 7 of our sites?
7.
We've got that in now.
Should we do them?
Let's name them.
Okay, here we go. Harpenden.
Ovs. Spelthorne. Ovs.
Basildon.
Watford.
Hemel.
Westgate.
Who have I forgotten? Fareham.
Last but not least, Fareham.
Hello! So even if you are not members of those specific sites, you can pay as you go to join in those.
That specific class,
classes.
Exactly.
So Fortis is billed as HIIT without the hurt.
Yes. Now that's not strictly true, because you do hurt slightly afterwards, but not as much as you would do usually.
So it's usually the bits that we do in between. So basically, the Fortis studio is fixed kit, not fixed resistance kit like we have in the gym.
Yeah.
But it's a fixed kit,
piece of equipment,
where you have to pull, and then if you've done your pull move, you then have to push it back down. So the kit takes away any form of gravity. And it's billed as HIIT without the hurt, because we are working our muscles equally the whole time through. We've taken out the plyometrics, we've taken out the force of gravity, and because you are in control of that machine, it's moving with your own range of movement.
Yeah.
So you are taking away your risk of injury.
Yeah.
The little sneaky thing that we have as instructors, in between each of our speed flex pieces of kit, we have an auxiliary station.
Which is basically a mat, and we can put whatever we like on that mat.
And, you know, we
might be a burpee.
There we go. There's the B word. We might be throwing you a burpee. And if you're doing 30 seconds of burpees, you might potentially get DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness.
Well done.
We've spoken about this. And that might be your little bit of, maybe a bit of hurt. But no, Fortis classes are 30-minute sessions.
Yeah, all 30 minutes, aren't they?
And the great thing about the Fortis classes specifically is we track your heart rate.
We do, and so we can see exactly how hard you are working. So not your perceived rate of how hard you're working. We can see on a screen how hard you're working.
Yes. And the flip side is also, we can see if you've recovered enough, ready to go again.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that we can sometimes think is, we've got 30 minutes, let's go. But I'm going to say again, in order to hit your 10 from 10, you've got to allow yourself to come back down to that 5 out of 10. So your 5 out of 10 is us now.
Having a nice chat.
We're chatting. That's your 5 out of 10. But your 10 from 10 is, we're not speaking.
Just a glare.
No, that's fun. But to get there, you've got to have that recover. So within Fortis, you've got your different coloured tiles that match your heart rate zone.
Yeah.
So it's where your heart rate is.
This is where you're wearing a heart rate monitor, isn't it? So it's much more effective than perhaps using something that you might wear on your wrist, something that I've got on at the moment. Something like that it's a lot more precise is probably the word that I would use.
And we've entered data, so it is specific to you.
Yeah.
We know you've entered your sex, you've entered your weight, and you've entered your age. So therefore, it is specific to you.
Yeah.
And a Fortis class, 30 minutes of fun-filled HIIT activity.
Amazing.
And it's got a really buzzy feel around it, because
it's a real community, isn't it?
We've got 16 stations at ours, so we've got a 16 capacity class, which just gives it that extra little bit of buzz. You've got your group in there, you are working potentially for 20 seconds or 30 seconds on a move, and then you are moving around.
And I think the nice thing with those sorts of classes is you're often working in a pair or in a little group, so again you've got that bit of camaraderie. So if you are flogging a little bit, think, oh my goodness, your teammate might say, come on, you can do this. And it just gives you that little extra buzz, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I'm going to say to all of you, I'm going to get a strength trainer back on here. Hi, Rory. So if you are specifically on a strength program, you still need to look after your cardiovascular health.
You do.
You need to put your cardio sessions into your strength routines. All the moves we do in Fortis are all strength-based moves.
That's correct, yeah, they are.
So there are squats, there are lunges, there are power clean presses, there are high pulls, there are bent over rows. It's moves that you know from picking up the free weights, from picking up the bars, but we are using those moves and then turning them into a safe and effective form of HIIT training. Yeah. If you haven't tried it, come along.
Come and give it a go. Maybe at an open day.
Yes.
If you've got a site near you. So here's a question for you. Have you ever used HIIT training principles in one of your EA cycle classes?
You do know that everybody watching this is now like, Michelle, don't remind her. Don't remind her. So in EA cycle, whole little lovely bit on the teacher's board, we can do something called a team challenge.
Ooh.
So we divide the room, and I don't divide the room. The magical powers that is in this app, who has tracked the amount of wattage the bikes have done, the amount of distance they've already done, averages them out and splits them into teams.
Okay.
So then in the team challenge, that's where we get our HIIT training going on. So you start the button, you've got 20 seconds to travel the furthest distance. However, in order to travel the furthest distance, so if you're on one of our bikes, if you're on gear 8 going 100 repetitions per minute, RPM, you're not going to travel as far as somebody on gear 12 doing 100. So that's why it's really about finding your 10 out of 10 in those 20 seconds. And then, yes, we as the instructors go, okay, have a little bit of an active recovery, and then we go again. So the fact that it's included in a team challenge, so all of a sudden you get the competitiveness coming out. You get the, I don't want to let my teammates down. Even if you're not gunning to win it, you are now part of a team, so you're going to go. And that's another little tool that we sometimes have in our back pockets to get you to your 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because we want you to get to that maximum in a HIIT class, don't we? Yeah,
absolutely. And even if you're in cycle classes that don't have the EA cycle technology, there are so many songs out there, and some of you will know the big old club classics, that will have a high intensity, the music's gone, the bass is kicking, and they're usually around 16 to 20 seconds. So they fall perfectly into a cycle class.
I've got a feeling that the next cycle class you're going to teach is going to incorporate this. And so I'd like to apologise to anyone from the Harpenden area that may be going to one of Joe's classes. I'm going to put a disclaimer that it's nothing to do with me. I just sow the seed.
But you know what? That's reminded me, team. Do you remember? Right at the beginning of these podcasts, I do believe that Michelle says that she might come to one of my EA cycle classes.
I'm not available to take your call.
Yes.
I will come, but I'm not coming to that.
I'm like, whoop, team challenge. Here we go. So yes, absolutely, you can do it in your cycle classes. You could probably even, maybe we'll do phone a friend, get Becky. I'm sure you can apply the same format for your swimming.
Yeah.
So if all the pools have got clock around them.
Stopwatch, and then all of them have,
You're going full on,
20
seconds, even if you need to then stand or just tread water for your recovery, allow that heart rate to come back down again, then go for it again. So it is a principle that can be applied across
different genres. Am I right in thinking that if I'm going on the treadmill, I can actually program something on that treadmill to give me a HIIT-based workout on that treadmill?
Yeah. And
so again, if you don't want to go into a studio or you haven't got a Fortis studio near you, or you can always do it on a treadmill, can't you?
Absolutely. You've got your treadmills, you've got your bikes, you've got maybe Watt bikes in the gym, you've got potentially Peloton bikes in the gym. I mentioned them earlier.
Rowers, that kind of thing you could do.
Absolutely. Tabata on a rower is
hideous.
Yes.
Yeah.
But amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. All you basically need is a timer.
Yeah. So if it was just on your watch, or if it's somewhere in the gym or an app, that's all you need to do.
And if you're unsure of any of the kit in the gym, there's members there that might know about it. But more importantly, there's the gym team there. They are there to help you.
Yeah.
They are there
so let's think about how we would mix a HIIT training class up. You spoke about this with strength training. How many times would you recommend that people were participating in some kind of HIIT training a week?
So I guess that really depends on their goal. Because if you are a marathon runner, if you're a triathlete, if you've entered an endurance event, the majority of your training is going to be probably strength and cardiovascular.
Yeah.
So you could do 3-4 times a week your high intensity, your cardio training, maybe 3 lots of HIIT, and then dedicate your long day, this is marathons, triathletes, to progressing the distance of your running, progressing the distance of your swimming, progressing the distance of whatever
discipline it is you're doing. Absolutely.
Correct. If you are strength training, go a couple times.
Yeah.
But just make sure it is programmed in. Like, we've talked about this before, and we've talked about this with Rory. When you've got your push, you've got your pull, you've got your legs days, you are mixing them up. You need to have a session where you can just get your cardio in through.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, isn't it? Is having that mix of things so that you've got a really, really broad base and a good all-round overall.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do a little shout out. Hi, Olivia. So Olivia is one of the personal trainers at Westminster Lodge, and she is a strength trainer. She competes, she's a strength trainer, and I had her in a Fortis class a couple of weeks ago. I hope you're still speaking to me. But she loved it because it was that transition of moves that she knows, but it was in a social situation. So it's not just, I've got to stand on a treadmill or on a climber, and you're in a group, and it just gives you that bit of oomph to have.
And it makes the time go so much quicker, doesn't it? If you're in a group environment, I think.
Yeah.
And it just gives you that little bit of extra. Come on, you can do it.
So go and try. Go and do it. Go and apply one of the principles.
Yeah.
Bursts of activity, please have the recovery.
Make sure you have, the recovery,
Do have the recovery.
Yeah, I think that's something that I see a lot, is that people don't want to take that recovery, and actually that then doesn't make it a HIIT class.
Yeah. Big point we'll talk about. We're going to do a future episode on this. Please warm up before you do your program, before you do your HIIT. In Fortis, we always have a warm-up round.
Yeah, always.
It's really important that we are gradually working that heart rate right the way up to your max, rather than going bang, bang.
Yeah, your body needs to be fully prepared for you to get to that point, so that you can get to those maximums.
And in classes you'll have it, so the same principle applies. If you are going off and you are doing this on a rower, spend a good 6, 7, 8 minutes getting your body up there, and we really want to be matching. So by the end of that warm-up, you're actually really near that 8, 9, 10 out of 10 level. So please make sure you are warming up before you then go into your HIIT. And then also
make sure you're then recovering afterwards.
Hear that one, guys? Yes.
Make sure you're stretching, you're having a really good cool down, and you should then reap the benefits of it more.
Absolutely. HIIT training. Love it. Go and sign yourself onto a session.
Love it.
Go and do it, team.
So we've spoken a lot today, haven't we, about HIIT training?
Yes.
And we've used lots of probably garbled terminology that maybe some people aren't sure of, do you think?
Maybe,
because we do get excited, don't we?
We do, and we also work in an industry where there's some really strange
words
that represent just everyday moves.
Yeah. So things like when we're talking about body weight training, we're talking about using no equipment at all, just using your body to help you in a movement, basically.
Yes.
Is that a good way to describe it?
Absolutely. So your body force is the force that's against gravity.
Against gravity, yeah. That's a very good way to describe it. Well done.
Yay! What else have we done? Plyometric. I love a plyometric.
Go on then, go.
Plyometric, air. Woohoo! It's basically jumping movements.
Propulsion.
Oh, yes. So instead of just doing a squat, a plyometric version of a squat is a squat, and then you come up and you jump into the air, then you land back down in your squat. That is a plyometric move.
So a piece of kit that we spoke about earlier is something called a ski erg.
So ski erg, you know when you are watching a downhill slalom skier?
I do.
And their arms are going up and down, moving their poles.
So they're moving like from side to side and they're pumping the arms. Yes.
Now imagine that you're not going side to side with your poles.
Okay.
And you are holding your hands straight out in front of you, and you are now pulling a force, named by the fan, all the way from like head level, all the way past in that skier move, past your hips. Skiing down all the time. So it's up, down, but you are pulling through.
And this is a piece of equipment that's on the gym floor, correct? So you can find exactly where that is on your gym floor.
On the gym floor.
And we spoke about something else that is on the gym floor called an air bike. I like an air bike. Go on, talk us through it.
So an air bike is the exaggerated huge bikes with a great big fan at the front.
So it's a form of a stationary spin bike, isn't it? But a cycling bike.
Yes. Then it's got handles that move. So that's what makes it a little bit icky. So you're not only pedaling with your legs, you're also push-pulling with your hands at the same time. So everything is kicking off. And that's why it's a really effective form of kit to use for your Tabata, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off.
Excellent.
Because you are using every single movement in your body, because your legs are going and your arms are going all at the same time. So that is your air
Amazing.
bike.
So you're going to check them out on the gym floor.
Definitely.
Amazing. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. We've spoken all about HIIT today, haven't we?
Go and do it. Go and try it.
Yeah, try it. Definitely go and try it. Add it into your little regime that you've got. Don't just do HIIT all on its own.
No, make sure you do your warm-up beforehand.
Warm up, cool down.
Please.
If you just do strength training, remember you need to add some cardio work in there. So HIIT training is a really good thing to do. Very functional.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So get involved and let us know how you get on.
Amazing. But thank you so much for listening, team. We will see you
on the next episode.
Woohoo!
Don't forget to leave us some lovely comments, nice thumbs up, 5 stars if you can. And what's the email address if people have got any questions or comments?
Please email us. We love reading
We do
them.
like an email.
We are podcast@everyoneactive.com.
We'll see you next time.
Take care, team.
Bye.
Bye.